Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to episode number 10. Episode number 10. We're at double digits, man. I'm excited. I'm happy. So, welcome back to episode number 10 of COVID 19 and the impact that it has on the body, specifically body systems. Now, today we're going to be covering the urinary system, which is pretty self explanatory. So, I'm going to be giving you guys the function of what it does, the urinary system does, and then the impact that the COVID 19 infection has on the system. Now, urinary system, of course, like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory. Is when all wastes are exited from the body. What this means is that after we digest something, after all the nutrients, minerals, proteins, everything is taken out of that, this waste is now taken to the bowel and the blood. Is then processed, of course, as waste material and it exits the body. Like you go to use the restroom, whether you're one or two, that is you getting rid of the waste. You do not want to keep that in your body because it causes serious issues and it just would not be healthy at all. Now, there are actually certain organs that are affiliated or associated with the urinary system. They are the kidneys, the renal pelvis, the ureters, the urethra, and I believe it is the bladder. That's for some reason that one always slips my mind. I don't know how that's the one, but of course, after everything is released from our body, that helps the body maintain homeostasis. There's no more waste products. We're good. Everything flows at a molecular level that it should. Now, the kidneys, of course, are and other parts of the urinary system actually are important because they provide the good levels of potassium, sodium, and water and balance. Everything is steady because all these waste products are now gone, so everything is at a good rate that it should be. Now, of course, COVID-19, once again, how does COVID-19 affect this system? And does it affect the system? Yes, it does. To be honest with you, COVID-19 actually does a really, really serious piece of damage on the system. It mainly attacks the kidneys. That's what the COVID does to the urinary system. Of course, a lot of people, it's been scientifically proven, if you look at the numbers, a lot of people are having kidney issues with no prior injuries before, meaning before they received COVID, their kidneys were 100% fine. There was nothing wrong with them. No sports injury, no I fell off this or I did this, like everything was fine. So, they're trying to figure out why COVID goes directly for the kidneys. That's something that's actually being worked on now. After several tests of people who have COVID, results are showing that there are actually high levels of protein as well as abnormal blood work. And these high levels of protein are actually found in the urine, and should be. And of course, your blood work is not supposed to be abnormal; it's supposed to be normal. So it's a lot. It's very it's hard to comprehend. The kidneys are actually affected so severely in some cases that dialysis can be required depending on how hard the impact of COVID actually hits the system, or actually hits the kidneys, I guess you could say. So there's also proof that I did find this out. There's also proof that people with pre-existing conditions like blood pressure, I'm using that as an example, are at a higher risk of getting kidney diseases as well. So people who have pre-existing conditions, they also get COVID. They are now at an even higher risk of not only losing a lot of things to COVID, but now they're at a higher risk of getting a kidney disease. So what actually happens is the virus affects the cells in the kidneys. So when the virus enters the kidneys, it affects the cells in the kidneys themselves, and it actually starts to deteriorate everything, killing off a cell one by one, trying to overall shut down the kidneys and get them to stop completely. So that's what that's why it's so important. Like, why is it attacking the kidneys? When it gets in this system, it's the easiest place to find. It's what latches onto it and just starts deteriorating, going from there. Just feeding off of it. And it's pretty sad. There are receptors in the kidney cells, however, and like I said, either last episode or a few episodes back, I said that receptors or enzyme cells and COVID, they love each other for some reason. They love latching onto each other. Of course, it's not the enzyme's choice, but that's what the virus will do if it enters your body. It's just what happens. So, of course, like a few other symptoms, blood clots can be formed, and they can actually clog up the kidney. So not only are your cells from the kidneys actually being affected, now there's a lot of blood that's not going through the kidneys like it should be. So now we're at a double negative problem, and it's not looking too good for the kidneys. And that's where doctors are trying to work at a faster rate to find out what's going on, because if this happens, the kidneys function do become weakened, and it could lead to even bigger problems in the long run, like unfortunate kidney failure completely. Now, treatments for the urinary system based off of COVID can be very complicated due to the fact that it targets the kidneys so heavily. Of course, in normal situations, doctors would prescribe certain things for the kidneys specifically, but with there being a deadly virus that has caused a worldwide pandemic in these kidneys, the situation is a little bit different. Now, of course, people with pre-existing conditions will continue to take their medication. They might have to raise the doses in this, but because of COVID now being a factor, problems are a lot more serious. Some of the things that they can do is honestly just studies on them. Do tests, run tests, give them kidney medication, and give them kidney medication, require the dosage, and go from there. And then, of course, people will then do their quarantine, take their medicine, try to breathe and relax and stay calm, of course. Eat healthy. Please eat healthy. Try to get some exercise in. I don't mean literally. I mean just getting up, walking around the house, not letting anything get stiff. Let that medicine run its course. Drink plenty of water, and you will begin to feel your kidneys functioning at a good rate, because that medicine will kick in, as well as all these other things you are building up. And yes, for like the 1 millionth time, I know this is repetitive. I do understand that, but it's some of the main things. It's gonna be the same thing a lot, because COVID, yes, it affects systems in different ways, but it's so specific that there's only so much you can do. But like I said, depending on what the tests say, for that specific patient, that's the direction, that's the best route they need to go through. But you cannot just simply guess. Like, you need to talk to a professional ASAP, as soon as you possibly can. That is going to conclude today's episode. This is what COVID-19 does to the urinary system. I hope I was able to help somebody benefit their knowledge of this deadly and unfortunate pandemic. Thank you so much for all the support. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. What system should I do next? Well, there's only one left, so we're going to go from there. But without further ado, we're going to cut it off here, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.